All right, guys, how's it going? Before I get into this video, I just want to let you know I'll be live on here today at 6 o'clock UK time now that I am back from Mallorca. All right, so 6 o'clock tonight, UK time, if you want to come along for a natter about all things LFC. Now, Luke Edwards at The Telegraph, a journalist that we've spoken about many times on here recently concerning the ongoing Alexander Isak situation, has posted the following on X today. Alexander Isak made his intentions clear days ago. Why do you think he's not training with the group or playing? He has also not said a thing publicly about his intentions and has not handed in an official transfer request. Why hasn't he done that? Club continued to insist he's not for sale. More to follow, no doubt. Now, before I give you Dave's opinion, I can't believe a mainstream journalist, right, has asked why, as a player, not handed in an official transfer request, right? Now, when I submitted this blurb, text or whatever to Dave, I wanted to see what Dave would say about that question. Why hasn't he handed in an official transfer request? And I did not prompt Dave, but he flagged it up too. And what I'll say to you is, because some Liverpool fans have said, if he really wanted to play for Liverpool, he'd hand in a transfer request. We heard all this during the Wirtz stuff. Right, listen, you do not hand in a written transfer request. It is the absolute last case scenario, because when you do that, you are waiving your right to many things, so it can affect you financially. It's also, there's no way back with that. There's just no way back from that, which I don't think there's any way back from him anyway, so I don't think it'll do much more damage, to be honest with you. But it's financially wrong. You just don't do it if you're a player, because if you hand in a written transfer request and you get sold, the club will say, well, you're not entitled to that. You're not entitled to that because you asked to go, right? And it's different between verbally saying, look, I want to go, to written, formal transfer requests. Now, if you don't hand in a written transfer request, a formal request, and the club does sell you, because I didn't technically ask for you to sell me. You know what I mean? It's all about that. And a mainstream journalist asking why he hasn't done that really surprised me when I saw the tweet, to be honest with you. I actually typed up a reply and then I was like, I'm not getting involved. But anyway, let's see what it is here. Now, Dave, my AI assistant that I've been training since last year. I know you get sick of hearing me say that all the time, but you've got to remember there's new people coming to my channel. Who the fuck's Dave? Right, so Dave's my AI assistant, and I've been training him since last year to study football articles, reports, even tweets like this, and the journalists that write them, and the platforms and outlets that publish them, all right? And I basically, with Dave, have built up a log of every single claim made by a journalist that I can get like that, all right? And he gives his input, and he looks for things that maybe I haven't noticed, right? So that's basically who Dave is. So the breakdown, now this is handing over to Dave. He says, this one from Edwards is more of a holding tweet than anything new. But even in a short post, he's still tripping over the contradictions. Breakdown. Made his intentions clear days ago. Reinforces that Isak wants out, but Edwards still won't say he wants Liverpool outright, even though everyone knows. Not training, not playing. This confirms the player is being kept away from the group, still a sign this situation isn't under control. Has not said a thing publicly. This could be framed as discipline from Isak's camp to avoid fines, or part of a stay quiet and let the club sweat strategy. This is the bit I wanted to see what Dave would say about. Has not handed in an official transfer request. If the club really think he's going nowhere, they wouldn't care whether he hands one in or not. More likely, Edwards is hinting Newcastle would love him to do that because it saves them loyalty bonuses and makes him the villain. Dave on point. Club continue to insist he's not for sale. Same as before. He keeps repeating it, but every time he says it, he's also dropping details that shows it's not watertight. Contradiction watch. If the not for sale stance was ironclad, there'd be no need for multiple tweets a day defending it. The fact he ends with more to follow, no doubt, tells you he expects further developments, which means this story isn't frozen. Positives for Liverpool fans. Edwards is still actively talking about Isak's intentions and absence from the squad, not burying it under all his well lines. The no public statement, no transfer request point means Isak hasn't burnt all bridges yet, which keeps the door open for both reintegration or sale. The more he reports on it, the more it stays alive, unsettled situation, perfect for a late window move. Now, listen, Newcastle journalists keep coming on and saying, well, I wouldn't listen to this journal or I'd listen to that journal. You've got that knowledge. Do you know what I mean? Like, Liverpool fans haven't. And, I'll be honest with you, I didn't know any of these journalists, I don't think, prior to this situation. So just because I'm telling people what this journalist is saying doesn't mean I'm endorsing this journalist or saying we should pay attention to him. What you have to understand is when one of your journals says something, Liverpool fans, if it's negative towards Liverpool, start flapping, oh, it's not going to happen because this journalist, so you guys have got the knowledge of, well, I won't fucking listen to him anyway, So we just go over and we say these things analyse these things, and I tell my peoples so that they can see where these claims originate from. Because as you know, when a journalist puts something out, the Twitter twats, the content instigators, aggregators, they rehash it and pass it off as their own. I like to see, trace things back to where it comes from so people can go, oh, it's from that city cunt, we're not listening to it. Do you know what I mean? All right, that's it. All right, I'll sign off. I was going to say, live on here tonight at 6, guys, all right? If you found the video informative, please thumbs up the video. If you want to drop me a comment about him or anything that's going on with the Alexander Isak situation, please do. If you want to buy me a coffee or a beer, there's a love out under the video. That's called a super thanks. And anyone that supports my channel, I always give them a shout out the next day on my morning briefing on my other YouTube channel, the Duncan Oldham channel. The link to that channel is in the video description below. And it will be on the screen as well. I haven't done the morning briefing yet because I want to get some of these videos out. I'll be doing that shortly. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Hopefully see you at 6.